Okay, I'm gonna do a last and final video. Ending of the manifold video. Now, if you're gonna attempt this on your vehicle, best thing to do your research before you get your replacement. Make sure your replacement will fit and work. I'll get to that in a second. Now, the reason why I wanted to replace my manifold, I don't know if y'all can see that, but ta-da! It's a big old hole. Plus it is very cracked. The crack ran all the way up back over here somewhere. It's cracked right here. It's cracked on the back side. So this manifold was done. Getting terrible gas mileage. I'll get like about 30 miles. $20. I would pump $20. I don't know how many gallons that is, but it would get me about 30, 35 miles. And that's terrible. It's bad. Now the reason I say you need to do your research for your replacement manifold is my other manifold, even though it looked identical, it was slightly shorter. I would line up these bolts here, but these two were about 1/8 off. Now, I was struggling with her for about a half hour, like trying to figure out what the hell's going on, until I finally pulled out the measuring tape. You know, measured from hole to hole. Got the measurements from the manifold. Got the measurements from the cylinder head, exactly 5.5 inches apart. But on the replacement manifold, they were not 5.5 inches apart. Like I said, it was about 1/8 off, 1/8 shorter. So what I had to do was bore the holes out. All of them. Bored them all out. Now, I did not have a drill bit for that process, but I thank myself for having these. I had to start with the smaller one, but I bored the holes out so big that this bit would literally go all the way through. You can see right there how big pretty much I had to bore the holes out. So yeah, it was a process. All of them. They were all process. But after a few hours later, it got done. Another thing. My other manifold broke a stud just like this one. Now, I did not have easy outs. So what I did was I used the old noggin. With the grinder, I just straight up cut. I cut this section out. I made like a U. Cut, cut. And then I knocked out the piece with the stud. And the replacement bolt, I put a replacement bolt. And it seems to sandwich it pretty well. I mean, I got no leaks on one side, but I still got a leak on the other side. I'll show y'all in a minute. Now, best thing to do, if you're going to do this to your vehicle, I was watching somebody else, and he gave some good tips. Best thing to do is, I mean, if drive it around, get her really, really hot. once she's really fully warm, fully on a hot day, warmed up, you know, fully hot, get her back and right away put a wrench tool. Crack them loose. That's what I did. And they cracked loose, no problem. And yes, it was hot, but you know what? They cracked free. They broke free. Broke them free. And then I sprayed them down with WD-40. Now I'm going to show you a little technique that I use for when you're in tight spots, you're working tight spots. And you know, a lot of people don't have pry bars, but they got hand tools. There's a little toolbox like this. Now, I use a 9/16 for the bolts on the manifolds. 9/16. Let me show you all something. Okay. And just grab a nice bigger wrench. So when you're working on something that's pretty darn tough to get off or whatever, you ain't got the elbow space to put, you know, good amount of force. Sometimes you don't have the right wrench. It's so small, whatever. Some people use cheater bars, which is fine, whatever. But say you don't have a cheater bar, you ain't got nothing like that around. All you got is your basic little hand tools. Okay, set her under. And what I use, the aid of the wrench. As she's in there, use her wrench. She'll go under the wrench. You put it in there. Whatever you're gonna loosen up. Now, you have more prying force. It's like a cheater bar. You have more prying force, so it breaks you could break the bolts or nuts loose easier if you don't got a cheater bar or a breaker bar. This setup works amazing, and it works the same way with wrenches, wrench on wrench. Let me show you. Same scenario. Put her in, whatever you're trying to loosen, whatever being stubborn. Some people don't have access to torches, whatever. You have another wrench. Wrench on wrench. And I like to pass this kind of information down to others. So wrench on wrench. And now you created more prying force. So you can break them free. Bah! I was taught this trick many years ago. And I'm still using it to this day. Now, back to the truck. Back to that later. So yeah, after breaking them free, this part, all I did was just hack it off. That way the manifold could slide out. So now you gotta remove your pump, your alternator, all that fancy stuff. I didn't want to do all that. New gaskets. And I had to use washers because the holes, you know, I bored them out so big that the nut would have almost went through the hole. So the washer's kind of holding it back from going all the way through. As you can see this one here. Now one of them did break. As you can see how big that hole is. Nut is almost going right through the hole. This one here did break. But I was lucky enough where it might have had about 1/2 inch of thread. So it was still able to go back in and I was still able to tighten it down. And it's not leaking. So I escaped that one. this manifold does not have the emission controls. Does not have for the air pump, and it does not have for my O2 sensor. So it must be from a real old engine, real old 350, before emissions took effect. This side, I don't know if y'all remember, I plugged it up with I plugged that this plug here, which is for the air pump emission controls. I plugged her up with copper washers and a nut with a bolt, and she does not leak at all. If you watch my previous videos, you'll see how I did it, and there is no leaks, none. Now I do have one leak. I still got an exhaust leak, which is from the passenger side. I'm hoping it's the exhaust donut that's leaking and not another cracked manifold, but I guess for now I just want to leave her. I'm done with exhaust leaks for now. After yesterday, I'm kind of done with the exhaust leaks. But let me do a quick startup. Cold start, you would say. Y'all can hear the exhaust. What it's supposed to sound like. Damn it. I can never find the right spot. Okay. To me, it sounds like a stock GM 8.1. Sounds like an 8.1, the stock exhaust for an 8.1. If y'all ever heard that, to me that's what it sounds like. Which isn't bad, I like it. But, I mean, to me, exhaust gotta sound good. It can't sound like open header exhaust. So, to me, that sounds like crap. Every time I hear that, those duals sounding like crap going down the road, it's just like, oh my god, SMH. Anyways, it's a 2.5 inch manual bent Dynamax exhaust. Now, like I said, came with two of these brackets, and I guess you were supposed to use these brackets. These mounts are the stock exhaust mounts from this truck. And like I said, I guess you were supposed to use this in some kind of way, because you could tell that this is not going to work. Your exhaust was just going to be shaking, bouncing, and falling off. So this brain just brainstormed an idea. I said, you know what? That's trash. After inspecting her really good, I was like, you found my mounting points, but I did know I had to go to the auto parts store to get the parts I needed, the right parts. None against Dynomax, it's just, sorry Dynomax, that was not going to work for me. But I love the kit though. As you can see, that was a stock mounting location for this bracket. All I did was just remove this bracket. I removed it, and I used the same nut from the same location for the new bracket. That holds the tail end of the exhaust. Now I love these hangers, man. These hangers are pretty awesome. As long as you got a spot for it, you could twist these around. So you could, you know, run them any which way and mount your exhaust. If you're having troubles hanging your exhaust, this thing is solid. Doesn't go nowhere, doesn't shake nowhere. Solid. And I put her on myself with the same little hand toolkit you saw over there. So anybody could do this. Anybody. The kit came with about 5 of these hangers. Exhaust clamps. But I still had to buy a couple more. The kit itself, the catback kit, cost me $165 from eBay, shipped to my door. Came with the tail end section, the muffler, and the front section. Some of these exhaust clamps, and like I said, these hangers I guess we were supposed to use. But I still had to spend another $35 at AutoZone. But which brings it to a grand total of $200 for my cat bag, but it's worth every penny. She's worth every penny. And since I ran that 0 gauge to my chassis, I'm gonna clean this. Oh, look, it's falling off too. I'm gonna clean this I'm gonna clean this area up, and I'm gonna use this ground spot, new ground location here, or I might just clean this area out. That way I ground out my exhaust, 0 gauge the exhaust. Cause me, I believe you upgrade if you upgraded your electrical system, that means your ignition system just got more powerful too. That's just my theory. I mean, it's just gotta use a little common sense, right? If you upgraded the electrical system, your spark system has to get stronger. I don't know. But there's the exhaust. Now, one thing, when I ordered this exhaust, I didn't pay enough attention, and this was for a 6-foot bed exhaust system. My truck has an 8-foot bed, so I was a bit short, which is fine. And remember, that $35 cost was for 2 exhaust clamps, 2 exhaust hangers, and this extension. which still, like I said, it was $200 grand total. And I love these bends. Smooth mandrel bends. Your muffler shop cannot accomplish this. I don't care what you say. Mandrel bend is the only way to go. Now, this is an 18-inch muffler. It's not that bad, you know, there's really no drone. And that's important. No drone. Now here's the other factory exhaust bracket. It's part of the truck. But, you can see that? This bracket was old GM2. Now what I did was, this went just like this. What I did was, as you can see, grind it off the rivet, shot it out, and all that did was just give me a new mounting location for the new exhaust hanger. And like I said, I love these hangers, man. You could twist them, use them in almost any single which way. And it just worked out perfect. Like I said, this exhaust is strong. It's not going anywhere. And that's important. The cat back comes all the way this far. Hooks up to your catalytic converter, but I don't have one. The previous owner had already removed it. You can tell how old the pipe is. He did it, not me. I don't mind it, but it's my exhaust. Now, let me crawl more underneath here. I'll show you what I did here on the manifold. Now, that's what I was talking about. How I cut it out like a U. I did not have easy outs, so I ain't got time for no haters' comments. Remember, sometimes we don't have those kind of tools and we get put in a predicament where we're too far to go back, too far to turn around. So we gotta improvise, use our fucking noggins the old-fashioned way. And how are we gonna fix this? How are you gonna approach it to fix it? And like I said, it went under real nice. There's no leaks on this side. Now, I don't know if this will work for y'all, but it worked perfectly for me. Now, even though I brainstormed that idea, I was like, oh yeah, it felt so good. By the time came to mount that manifold up, and oh my god, it's like, well, it was one setback after another. There's my beautiful transmission. I don't know what kind of transmission it is. I believe it's the NV4500, but it could be the NV3500. I don't know. But the bells of housing does not get detached. They're not inseparable. They're all one. Get out of here. I would like to upgrade. I guess that was me. I would like to upgrade my exhaust. Full exhaust. Headers. Everything. White pipe. The whole 9 yards, but that'll probably be on another episode. Not now. This is a Herculiner truck liner. is the only rust spot this truck has. That's it. But other than that, she's solid. She's got solid rockers. I don't know what state this truck came from, but like I said, I just bought it over the winter time. Her rockers are solid. I did the Herculiner all the way through. The funny part was, I didn't have no material to put, to roll this stuff on. No masking tape, no rollers, nothing. All I had was just a pair of gloves. So what I did was just throw some gloves on, just grab a handful of that stuff and just smeared it on. Like I said, I didn't even mask it off or anything. Just grabbing, kept smearing it. It doesn't look too bad. For not masking it off, doesn't look too bad. Just trying to protect the bottom layer. I live in a Chicagoland suburb, and salt could be pretty bad around here. I do plan on upgrading to an electrical fan. Like I said, that damn fan makes more noise than the engine, and that don't sound awesome. I would like to hear the engine and most of my exhaust, but that's alright for now. I guess we'll figure that one out, the fan, later. But the truck's been a champion. A few parts here and there. I did my clutch master cylinder went out. I had a rear brake line go out. I had to change the idler pulley and the AC delete pulley because it was starting to make noise on me. And a bad exhaust manifold leak. I bought the truck for $1,000. Air cleaner was all rusted. All I did was kind of clean it up and I shot it with new paint. I paid $1,000 for her, and I must have spent at least already about $500 to $600 on her, keeping her going, keeping her moving. But she's worth it. When I bought her, I guess the guy had it sitting for such a long time that, when I brought her home, I just started going over it, checking oil, checking fluids. I pulled the air cleaner off of it, and there was either mice or rats living in here, all throughout in here. They had a whole nest in there, and a nest in here. It was full of insulation. What the hell? So I guess he had it sitting for a while. I mean, I didn't ask him. I just, when I brought it home, I was like, what the hell? One day, I pulled this cover off to check my timing, and I see those damn critters were even in here. You see all this wire, how it's all chewed up? So they were all the way in here, gnawing and chewing away. But, truck still runs fine, so I'm not worried about that part. Until something goes crazy, and then I'll come and investigate. But for now, it's, maybe that's why my damn washer pump don't work. But this truck still has the metal inner fenders. All metal. And look at this truck. She is not rotted away. I mean, she is true solid. She needs new tires, though. That's about it. But, man, she is solid. There's no rust. Very little rust. Very little. Here's my other rocker. I mean, the bottom of the doors too. Like I said, very, very, very little rust. True solid. Doesn't get old. I mean, if you look at the bed, the wheel wells of the bed, I mean, no signs of rusting at all. The previous owner added these leaf packs. I guess it's a HD suspension for this truck. I don't know. But that's one thing he did bring it up to my attention. I brought it from an old landscaper. Usually the beds are all rotted out. He used and abused her, but the bed is not rotted. I don't know where this truck came from, but I'm glad I got my hands on it, because she is solid. Got the camper for free. Offer up. I got the good old Mac signed for free. One of my older jobs. I work for an excavating company. I found that in the trash. Putting her to good use. How about that paint job? Awesome, huh? $30 years in the making. I mean, just the body condition alone of this truck, even though it was a landscaping truck, it's not banged up like how you think it would be. I mean, it